most people eat our food and have no idea that it's vegan. And they're like, oh, can I get another steak taco? That was amazing. And we're like, sure, here you go.
What was the reason for not like kind of marketing vegan and just being
because
great food?
Vegan is kind of a dirty word.
Got it. Kristen, thanks for coming on. It's good to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Would love to just kind of start with your background and the work you're doing at Tacotarian.
Sure. So my background, I actually moved to Vegas to be a showgirl. Okay. So quite a different industry. Yeah. And then I started a dog walking company and I sold that, and then I ended up in restaurants with my husband.
Nice.
So here I am. Tacotarian has 6 locations and we're franchising nationwide. We're a vegan Mexican concept, so a little bit niche.
Very cool. What was the initial so dog walking to this kind of business? Like what drove that?
Well, the throughput is my love of animals, right?
Okay.
So when I retired from the stage, I was like, what am I going to do? I know I have no hireable skills.
Yeah.
So I wanted to start my own business. I took $500, started my own pet care company, scaled that. But then when we were going to open restaurants, we were talking about what kind of restaurant would we open? My husband's Mexican, so we felt very passionate about Mexican food.
Nice.
But we wanted to do it in a way that was different, but also aligned with our values. And so we were eating plant-based, so that's kind of how we got from A to Z.
Very cool. And so when you're thinking about starting something, what are the steps? Like how long from okay, let's go and do this. What are the steps you're taking to go and open that first spot?
Okay, so this is a little insane. So we did this trip to Mexico City kind of with his old work. It was an R&D trip. Yep. So when we did that, it was February of 2018. Okay. By April, that was when we kind of made the decision. We had a conversation with our business partners. Yep. They were like, let's do it. That was February of 2018. By April, we had a lease signed. By August, our first restaurant was open.
Quick. Wow.
Yeah,
how did you move that quick? What was things fell into place?
Just do it. When I get something in my mind, I'm like, let's just do it.
And you're already at 6 locations right now.
We're at 6 locations. We have 5 in Las Vegas and 1 in San Diego.
So that's almost 1 a year you're kind of trying to do. Is that the goal, or what's your plans? I guess
that has been the goal for the corporate stores, right. But with franchising, obviously, we'd like to ramp up a little bit. Yep. We have a few in the pipeline that are all in different cities, which is exciting because it kind of gives us a larger footprint. Yep. And we also recently went into e-com, so that gives us a very wide footprint as well.
Got it. So what was the driver, I guess, to maybe we can start with the first one. First of going into franchising, second going into e-com, CPG. First, let's franchising. What was the driver there?
Well, okay, so with franchising, it was kind of a back and forth. It's hard to give up control when you don't know if someone's going to take your baby, for lack of a better word, and do a really good job operating it. Because we are a niche concept, we don't want people, obviously, that are going to make mistakes. Think about it if Cisco delivers the wrong thing. And then somebody serves that. Yeah. And people are coming to you because you're, an allergen-friendly restaurant, and maybe they have an allergy to dairy. So it's difficult. You have to find people that really, truly understand, not that they have to be vegan or vegetarian, but that they understand what the importance of that means. So that was our nervousness in going into franchising. But once we kind of got over that, and we're like, okay, we'll find people. There will be people. Yeah. The e-com was kind of happenstance because we had to figure out how to co-pack our we have proprietary proteins that we have to scale. Yep. We make them in-house. So we had to find a co-packer anyway. So the natural progression of that was hey, these are really popular. Why not just give them to people? So we did about 3 years of R&D trying to figure out how to shelf stabilize those. And so that's where we're at now.
Wow. Okay. So on the franchising side, let's dive in deeper there. Selecting a franchisee, there's obviously a lot of individuals. There's a model of a Chick-fil-A, which is one person, one store. There's other models that want private equity platforms to come on. How did you think about that? And then I guess when you selected which one, how did you find the right person? What's the process there?
Yeah, so we're kind of starting with more of that owner-operator mindset. Right. You know what's interesting is a lot of the people that are applying are leaving the tech space. Yep. So a lot of people are leaving the tech industry, wanting to get into something that they know is not really going to take their job. Yeah. As much tech as we use in restaurants, we're not having robots serve the food. Yeah. We're just not there yet. Yeah. So I think they feel more stable. And then a lot of people are applying that are culturally aligned. Yeah. So a lot of people, Indian cultures don't eat meat and things like that. So they find it very refreshing because they like the idea of a restaurant, but they don't like the idea of serving meat. So that's kind of been an interesting learning curve. we're not really interested in like these huge like mumbo is what they call them, like groups coming in quite yet.
Yeah.
We really want to test with like some owner operators and make sure like our systems are down, our processes are down.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to rush everything and just do it wrong.
Totally.
You know, we're surrounding ourselves with people that are kind of teaching us, guiding us, people that have done it before, really good consultants, so we don't mess it up.
Yeah, makes total sense. How many do you have franchises now?
Not signed, like not open.
Okay,
we have some in the pipeline that are close to signing.
So you're in the process right now. You're learning as we go.
In the thick of it.
What's been the most surprising to you?
The surprising thing is how many looky-loos are out there and how many people you have to actually vet and talk to and go through. And we have a sales team that's helping us. But yeah, it's incredible, like the actual process of how many people you have to talk to before you actually get one franchisee.
Makes total sense. And these sort of things like compound pretty fast. You're right. You'll find one, just really focus on
nobody
the
wants to be the first one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Nobody wants to be first.
But then the first are also someone who aligns with the brand probably more so than anyone else, right? They might find you versus you find them. So yeah.
And if you're the first one, then you get to be the person that like gets really all the hands-on help from the founders, right? If you're in that first founding group, and we're doing like a founders special right now, which gives them like a ramp up on royalties and things like that. So it's you know a little bit unique there.
Nice.
And then they get all of our hands-on help.
That's awesome. How have you thought about geography with regards to like these locations? Like, do you want it close to your base now so you can kind of be there? Are you flying across the country? Like, initially
we were like, oh, let's only do from like the Midwest to the West, but that kind of goes out the window because when you have people applying, it's like you can't control where people are applying and where the good people are going to be. Yeah. So if there's good operators somewhere on the East Coast, then it is what it is what it is. We'll figure it out.
What do you go about this process? Like, what resources are you using to like determine like how do we set up a franchise package? What do we give them technology wise, resources wise? Like, what are you reading, I guess, every day or learning from?
I mean, I learn a lot on LinkedIn, believe it or not. There's so many good people putting out good, interesting information on LinkedIn. On the technology side, we have consultants that I mentioned, complete hospitality partners, and they've been really good because they know a lot of people. So they've introduced us to our sales team, which is Scott Mellon. He's really good. And then from there, we got introduced to Locate AI, which is, have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
So it's basically like a site selection tool. So they use AI to basically, they scrape all your existing customer data using cell phone data for years. And then they assign your customer profiles. And then they go into the world and apply those customer profiles down to the intersection.
Wow. And
then they pair the franchisee with a local broker to make sure that like you're not just relying on cell phone data, like there's real life connected with that AI data.
That's cool. And so your stores now are in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas and San Diego.
And so Las Vegas is pretty transient. Like how many of them are like, do you know how many guests are locals versus coming through for a few days?
I mean, not an actual number, but I would say we have specific stores that are heavily tourist driven as opposed to local. So we have one on the Strip now. So obviously that's almost exclusively tourists. It's just people coming through. Now, is it a lot of people that still know our brand? Because we're in that vegan space, the vegan community will always seek us out. But the nice thing about being on the Strip is that a lot of people come through. We don't advertise vegan anywhere. It's just like really good food. So most people eat our food and have no idea that it's vegan. And they're like, oh, can I get another steak taco? That was amazing. And we're like, sure, here you go.
What was the reason for not like, kind of marketing vegan and just being,
because
great food?
Vegan is kind of a dirty word.
Got it. Okay.
Honestly, in the times that we're living in, even more so now, it becomes polarizing, and then people don't want to try it because they assume that it's going to be something that it's not. So if you encourage people just to come and eat really good food and then say, oh, by the way, it just happens to be made with plants, then people are much more inclined to give something a try. Yeah,
that makes total sense. Like the Tesla model where they said we're not going to be an electric car company, we're just going to be a great car company, and it just happens to be electric.
Did they say that?
That was their initial thing. It worked well. So so franchise CPG, that's a whole other kind of business stream. How did that come up?
So when we were looking for co-packers and trying to figure out how we were going to co-pack our proteins, we went down this path of just packaging it for retail. Initially, we thought we were going to be in grocery stores and all of these things, and we quickly realized that is not the game we want to play. We had a broker that was like, I'll get you in Sprouts, I'll do all of these things, and it was like, no. So then we pivoted. I learned e-com.
Yeah.
I took a course, kind of mastered that. So now the e-com is crushing.
Wow.
And we're going to scale it up because it's a great revenue stream.
That's direct to consumer. So you're like on a Shopify type store.
Yep, we have a Shopify.
And then what sort of products are you selling through that?
Right now we have 2 SKUs. We have our jackfruit barbacoa and our jackfruit birria. And so those are shelf stable again. So we use like a 3PL warehouse.
Yeah.
They pack, ship, it goes to the customer. We're on Amazon.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. So are those? So are the? I guess do you also sell in the stores too? You can walk into a store and grab some of these products.
So right now, our downtown store has a few packs, but because of the way like we make it in Mexico, and so it ships from Mexico to the 3PL warehouse. So I would have to then pay to ship product from the warehouse to our restaurant.
Right.
So that became kind of a hassle.
Makes sense.
So right now it's not. It's only on our website, and then there's a few in some of the stores.
Got it. Okay, cool. So you have a lot going on. You have the
You
corporate
think?
stores. You have the franchising starting to expand. You have CBG. I guess the restaurant finance podcast, like underlying that is obviously money and finances. So how do you think about finance as it relates to all these different things you're working on and then the goals you have for this year and beyond?
Yeah. What we've learned is that obviously like when you go to build this kind of empire, which is my personal goal, you have to have these additional revenue streams, right?
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a way better chance of finding eventually down the road in 5 years or so a private equity or like a large group to come in.
Yep.
And then you're going to X amount each revenue stream you have.
Yep.
And that was the thought process behind the e-com and the franchising in general.
Yep.
But also on a more micro level, when you build corporate, you lose the community aspect of your brand.
Yep.
It's just impossible. Even with the location in San Diego, we're not as community focused. We try really hard, but our brand is a community brand.
Yep.
Like I'm speaking later at 4:00 today, and my whole talk is about building a community. So that is the core of our brand. So when you go the corporate route, it's almost impossible to keep that. But if we find small mom and pop people that want to operate in their local cities, and maybe they own 2, 3, or 4 in their city, they can be embedded in their community and still have that community aspect to our brand that makes people so attracted to us.
Makes perfect sense. Yeah, I think the franchise model can work extremely well with having those community-based, like the local town, local sports team, and everyone's kind of involved that way.
And we partner with charities.
Yes.
So like having the local charities is
Yeah.
what makes that happen too. Because I'm not going to go pick a charity in Nebraska.
Right.
They're not going to, it just doesn't work.
What's the charity program you have right now?
Sure. So we do a different LTO every other month, and we partner with different hyper-local charities that kind of align with our values. But the difference, instead of just writing them a check, we make them an active participant. So they have to come in and shoot content.
Nice.
They have to send a certain amount of emails. They have to post on social media a certain amount of times. They have to reach out to local press. They have to, all of these things in order to get the check.
Wow.
So that's where most people miss the mark when they donate to charity. They just write it off, and it's like a line item on their expense sheet. And what we've done is really be able to bring in the audiences of the charities to give us more foot traffic.
Love it. That's super cool.
Yeah. And those charities, those LTOs can generate $30,000 a month in LTO, because we do fun LTOs, like a Mexican pizza, a giant taco, things that are exciting.
Marketable.
And marketable.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Instagrammable.
When you have, I guess, the rest of the year, next 12 months, like what's the goal here? Obviously, you have the franchise stuff in progress. Like, what else is on your plate?
Definitely we'd like to get 3 franchisees going, signed, and hopefully 2 or 3 open in the next 12 months for sure. With the e-com, I want to add 2 more SKUs. I want to add our 2 seitan SKUs, and then maybe a birria seasoning. So that's
not much going on then.
Not much going on. That's the plan as it stands.
Awesome. Well, very exciting. Well, thank you for sharing this, and thanks for coming on the show, and it's great to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. Thanks.